systems are go. About 90 seconds to launch destination.
Mind you, we swore an oath of loyalty, but we are still senators. It's not more speeches in the Senate that will change the world. Rome is dying.
My legions are mustering as swiftly as possible. General Gaius, Julius Caesar, enough!
Senators, welcome back to episode 11 in my Stellaris Roman Empire campaign. In the last episode, we spent much of our time rejuvenating our economy and stabilizing our worlds after our conflict with the Tyrrhene Republic. We've done a pretty good job of it. We've reached an average of about 65 to 70% stability across all of our worlds, ushering in a new era of peace and prosperity in the Roman Empire. Now, not only that, we also uncovered the final mystery with regards to the Gruner and the Bowel species, and we actually made first contact with the last remaining Bowel organism and obtained it for ourselves as a relic. It seems not only Fortuna blesses us, but so too does Bonadea herself. Upon activation of this relic, we get a 10% modifier to population growth across all of our worlds. But not only that, it seems we also now possess the ability to terraform a world, any world of our choosing, which we already inhabit, into a Gaia world with a new Bowel life seeding. And we can use this every decade, should we have the political influence to do so. It seems extremely powerful, and I plan on using it. We had kind of thought about using it on Augusta. It's one of our colonies with the lowest amount of habitability or stability in general, so I thought, yep, we'll use it there. But it seems like it would be kind of wasted doing that. We still have about 8 years left of the activation, so we could probably go down to the planet here at Canadrius. It's a tundra world. It has 22... It's a 22 size planet. If we just colonize that, we can activate this, and it's an immediate terraforming, apparently. I've looked it up, so it is. So, because I wanted to know, could I use it multiple times? It seems like you can. So it's an extremely powerful tool. So I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to get a colony ship up and running. We're going to come down to the now newly named Gaia and create another Gaia world. We can have a Gaia sector down here, really. So that's the plan. There's also other worlds around us, but there's none as big as that one. So that's the one I want to focus on first. It's also already within our territory. I was kind of saying that perhaps being a tundra world, we could inhabit it with the Kosher Trade League pops should we open up ourselves to migration with them, as they live on frigid climates. But I think it's better that we just kind of take it for ourselves. So that's what we're going to be doing. Now, in between episodes, I have kind of cleaned up the economy a bit more. I realized I was making one mistake, or at least I'll probably make loads, but one that's very clear to me, which was my consumer goods is toppling down. And I was like, well, I need amenities, so I'll build holotheaters or gene clinics. Both of these consume consumer goods in order to produce those amenities. So I wasn't solving the situation. What you can do to get amenities on a planet without consumer goods is just build trade, and our current trade policy actually turns trade value into both energy and consumer goods at a 50-50 rate. So I've actually gone ahead and done that. I've started to build commercial zones and replace some of the gene clinics and stuff just to clean up our consumer goods deficiencies, and then we'll increase them later when we can. So for now I'm just going to buy some to offset that problem. So hopefully that makes sense, but essentially I was neglecting an obvious building option, you know? Because I was thinking, another thing I was doing was building city districts to create a clerk job, because I knew that clerks make amenities, but I didn't think that, oh yeah, they don't actually consume consumer goods to make those amenities. They just do it through being a clerk and having trade value and stuff like that. So I think that's what I'm kind of now going to be focusing on, and that will hopefully ease up our consumer goods deficiencies that we have, and things should get a lot better. So that's kind of the plan. I've also just queued up a bunch of ships to go and do the different things. We're going to colonize Tau Ceti, and that's a 17-slot world. We're just going to colonize all the kind of infill areas that we haven't got right now and continue with some of the excavations. We have an excavation still ongoing for another precursor chain here. Of course, actually, that's not actually it. There's 3 different ones in here. This is the one we're doing. The broken world of the Astenine. So Servius Lentidius is on the case. So we'll have to find out about that. Still have the Ascension perk. I haven't actually got to read the comments of the last episode yet. I looked over it again, and I'm still just a little unsure of what to get. Some Ascension perks later on down the line says you need at least 2, so we will obviously have to get one. But there are a few things that say, like, oh, if you just get a technology, like for instance this one, requires gene tailoring. It doesn't say it also requires something else. So I feel like, you know, if our technology just progresses, then we can pop something in that we actually want, rather than these things that maybe I just don't feel like are that important. But I am leaning towards mastery of nature. It seems to be in our wheelhouse in terms of how we like to do engineering and how we have anthropocentrism. How we like to kind of conquer worlds and shape them, bend them to our will. Mastery of nature seems to fit pretty nicely there. It allows us to increase the maximum number of districts on a planet. So I think I will end up getting that. But I'm just going to leave it for now because I'm not going to use it right away. It also makes removing planetary blockers cheaper, which is nice. Alright, let's let time play. So the fleet is upgrading as well, as you can see from the beginning there. So I've respec'd some of our ships. This is the Velites ship. Some of you have given really great suggestions for names, so I will be using those in future. But for now, I'm just going to keep the ones we have right now until we get a bit more of a bigger fleet. But yeah, I'm just doing an upgrade just in case we get attacked by some random entity that pops out of nowhere again. So I always want to have these guys prepared. We had a lot of alloys. So I'm also doing another thing, which is building our station down here. And that's going to allow us to get our trade value. I forgot to do that a while ago. So obviously all trade routes lead back to Rome. So we have a starbase station here. We want to make one here. It's going to gather the 3 that's here and any other commercial hubs that we put down here and things like that. They're all going to go get fed back into Rome. That's going to create more energy and more consumer goods for us. So hopefully that'll all work out. So yeah, I think after doing that, that's really a good way to then stabilize the economy. Research is almost up to about 400 now, which is, I think, pretty good for the stage we're at. We're 60 years in from our understanding of the FTL drive, so it's pretty happy about that. Oh yeah, and I also commissioned the extra building of a couple of the ships. Did I set this to... Let's set this as our home base as well. Alright, good. So apart from that, I'm not really too sure if we're going to be like planning any attacks anytime, just like anytime immediately. We'll have to see. I'm going to close down the starbase thing for a sec. Just keep an eye on these science ships. We need to save up a bit more energy before I get new scientists, and we probably could do with another construction ship to get inside the Gruner territory and things like that. But yeah, so the general goal is going to be to get all of this territory, every pocket of territory we kind of can. Our scientists, despite having all of this vast amount of space to kind of look at, we can't get to it. We're blocked in completely. I had a good look around at which way we could go. We can go through the Kosher Trade League, but we're just ultimately then blocked by the Dagateni Kingdom. There's no way into the Penthalin progenitors. So the Dagateni, the Dakarite, the Sight, and the Norilga are what's blocking us in from accessing the rest of the galaxy right now. So, you know what actually I didn't do, and I thought about doing this. We could maybe, now that we have good relations, we have friendly relations with the Kosher Trade League. Of course, we have a commercial pact. We have a research pact. They're actually at war. Oh, crap. I didn't even realize that. They're at war with the Dagateni Kingdom. A war of ideology. Kosher to Dagateni war of ideology. So it's the Kosher attacking them, because their name comes first. And it looks like they're winning, because the Dagateni's war exhaustion is up high. It seems like it was them anyway. I think it's whoever's title is first. So it's Kosher to Dagateni. So I think that's how it goes. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Yeah, look at this. You can see that actually they own this territory here and here and here. So not very much really. Just 3 systems deep so far, but winning overall. They might just be ticking up over time. And they still have an overwhelming fleet to me, and the Dagateni have equivalent. So they might have lost some stuff. Well, that's good to see. I don't really like the Dagateni. They seem to be very aggressive. So if the Kosher, my buddies, can do well against them, that'd be nice. Now, speaking of the Kosher, we need to propose the vote for whether or not we're going to allow migration within the Roman Empire. Now, spoiler alert. There's no real need to say that, because obviously people aren't just going to quit out if I say that. But I got told what happens when we activate the Gaia world decision. It actually creates a few pops belonging to the species of the Baal. And by default, they'll be slaves for us. So we can actually create our own slaves. They're really good at getting food, apparently. I don't know anything about them. I haven't seen them. But I was just told that when I asked some people, hey, do we get to use the Gaia world thing repeatedly? They said yes, and you get pops from it. So it was not really that unfortunate. It's a very small thing, but it was slightly spoiled for me. The reason I'm bringing this up, though, is because it means that we are going to end up having this other species, pretty soon, when we get Canadrius in this world down here. So the question remains, if we're going to be this multi-species society, we're allowing slavery, we will have the Baal as slaves, we could also think about having them not as slaves. That'll probably be a vote later on, but the first vote for today, and check the description, check the top comments, all of that stuff, the vote should be up for a while as well, so you'll have plenty of time to take part. It's going to be, do we allow migration? Now, migration means that our pops may leave the Roman Empire, and we may also receive pops belonging to the Mari, for instance. They'd be the first ones we do it with. Now, the Mari, just to have a quick look at them again, they're thrifty, which means good at energy, good at trade, I think. They're tidy, they're flying, they're conservationist, and they're Eleolithic, and they have an Arctic preference. Now, if we get them, it means we can then colonize. There are pops once we get them, if they arrive to our territory, and we could then colonize Arctic worlds, should we be able to find any. There's actually none that I can see immediately around us, so it's not necessarily something we need to think about doing. I'm not sure we're going to benefit that much. But considering the fact that we have Gaia worlds available to us now, they could work on the Gaia worlds, and we could use their traits to our benefit, because they won't have any habitability problems, at least on those worlds. So let's have a look. We'll show all species that we've encountered, and we'll have a look at the Mari. Like I said, Arctic, so thrifty is going to be trade value, so good traders. We could throw them down on something like Terra, and maybe our other Gaia worlds to increase the trade that comes out of those places. They're tidy, so they don't use much housing, and they're pretty happy. They have less amenities, less housing in general, because they also fly. And they're conservationists, so they don't use much consumer goods upkeep. I mean, they actually seem really, really great. Their bad thing is that they're Eleolithic, so they're not going to be working food, alloys, or engineering or research. So that's your entire... And actually, they will arrive as slaves initially, which seems crazy. I don't know if that prevents them arriving or something, but I would say that we'll probably end up extending residence citizenship to them. We can't do full citizenship because our empire considers the species to be too alien. Okay, because we're obviously xenophobic. That's something we could potentially change later on. Maybe that's going to be established with a vote as well at some point. But right now, the question is going to be, do we allow migration pacts with the Kosher Trade League? And do we allow this other species to come into our territory, should they wish? And do we also allow the option for ours to possibly go to them? That's something you got to think of. So that's going to be the vote. Check the options, like I said, in the description and stuff, and we'll see what we come up with, I think, in the episode after the next one. And then later on, we'll discuss how we handle the Baal, should we receive them, as I've been told we will, with planetary decisions. All right, so hopefully that's all caught up on that. So what I'm going to do, though, really quickly, is because we haven't discovered many other empires, we can't go further, is let's ask them for a trade deal, and let's ask them for information. Can you give me communications? And I'll give you communications, of course. This is a -2 right now. What about active sensor link? You can see me, I can see you. I'd like to see them, so we could actually check out how their war is going. This will give them active sensor link for 10 years, right? Just keep this for 10 years. And let's give them something. So what could we give them? We have 2,000 minerals. Maybe they could use some minerals. Yeah, it doesn't look like they want very much. Let's give them 100. All right, there you go. Valued client, we're doing our utmost to evaluate your request. Sweet. All right, so hopefully we'll find other empires here and get to read about them. Because you would assume... Okay, here we go. Communications established, an encounter in Saul. Oh, okay, that's just telling me about the encounter in Saul. That's fine. That looks like the Baal, I think. All right, so we found two plantoids. So first off, we have the Valon cluster. So we'll just say greetings. Actually, we'll read it. Valon cluster. So I bring greetings from presiding... Oh, we can actually see. Sorry, I was going to say we couldn't see where they are. So there's the Valon cluster and the Belmacossa creep. All right, so I bring greetings from presiding speaker Rhizome of Magenta, the undisputed ruler of the Valon cluster. Respect our borders and keep out of our affairs, and perhaps our mighty fleets will refrain from visiting your worlds. Alright, so these guys are fanatic xenophiles. Well, that's a very hostile take, but okay. They're very welcoming. They are pluralism, or pluralists, and fanatically cooperative. So they seem like a real friendly bunch. We'll learn a bit more about them later. Let's just say greetings for now, and then we have the Belmacossa creep. So we're the Belmacosta Creep and we speak as one. The hive mind has taken note of your presence. We will observe for now. Our future actions will depend on whether you are a threat or an opportunity for expansion or an unforeseen variable. Alright, greetings saplings. Boom, there we go. Alright, so the Belmacosta Creep, obviously I've written all these species. The Belmacosta Creep, I've never known about the Gruner or the Bowel or anything like that. They're basically the same thing, which is really coincidental, but nevertheless, we could maybe extrapolate there for somehow they're an offshoot that managed to gain sentience somehow. Let's read about them anyway. So they are hive mind, their species are called saplings, and the Belmacosta Creep is a global, singular life form made up of billions of semi-autonomous saplings linked through a neural network that originates at the Belmacosta root. Let's have a look at their planet. So they're within a nebula, and that's Belmacosta there. So it's a tropical world, a hive capital. And they've got a bunch of relations as well, which you might be able to make contact with others. The root is the confluence point for which all saplings connect, share their experiences, and receive their instructions. They often detach, allowing them to operate semi-autonomously, carrying out their instructions before reattachment, where they are either broken down into nutrients and absorbed, or are rejuvenated, given new instructions. Based on topographical evidence, it's estimated that the Belmacosta Creep is over 100,000 years old, though some experts claim it could be several million. Oh, that actually feeds in to our theories about the Bowel as well. So they have the civics for empath. The hive mind can reach out and touch the minds of others, giving them a glimpse of our will that helps them understand. They have a natural neural network. The grey matter of clustered drones provides unparalleled parallelism, accelerating the hive mind's exploration of the sciences. They have pooled knowledge. The hive mind's autonomous drones frequently share knowledge through direct links, bypassing the hive mind's slower registries. So that's feeding in about how they connect into the trees, I guess. Ascetic. The hive mind cares little for material comforts. So they have, I see, a reduction in amenities and food, an increase in leader experience and leaders in general, an increase in research, which is actually pretty unusual for hive minds, and then increased diplomatic capabilities as well. So they have the Tree of Life start, or origin, which means that they evolved in a symbiotic relationship with a vast tree. The tree grants them many benefits, but its loss would cripple them. Alright, and then we have saplings themselves, so let's find out about them specifically. So that's the Belmacosta. So I guess they're just considered a single kind of organism, I suppose, as hive minds are. So we'll go to species and we'll find the Belmacosta. Sort by name. Oh, they're called saplings, aren't they? So there we go. So these are the saplings. They have tropical preference, they're hive-minded, they have eternal youth. The species will never die of old age. With eternity in reach, they have lost their spirit of challenge, their curiosity, only an extreme fear of being hurt remains. So that's actually a fairly large negative, but their leaders don't ever die. They have third eye. Although this species doesn't have any visual organs, they have established a pseudo-visual method of perception by using their other senses. They have common thoughts. Species can have the same thoughts and emotions as close brethren. They're rooted. They don't perceive any value in the concept of travel. They're extremely reluctant to move away from their homeworld. And they have bad habitability, slow adaptation. So that's the saplings and the Belmacosta. Now they actually do have another world, just one other one, here at Sakis. It's kind of cool that they're in nebula. This is a really interesting one. I've never seen a nebula like this. Just like almost grey. Perhaps because of the type of star that's here. So Xanadora. That's a really cool name. Now, how many pops do they have? 150. We have 139. So they actually are pretty thick. And it's a hive mind. Now this hive mind, considering they have empath, they're not like the ravenous hive mind before. We could discuss something with these guys, you know. Tempted to have our borders open in future. I don't like the initial... I mean, we are xenophobic, and we do have to be wary, but to people who are really far away, I don't think it really makes any sense closing borders. Okay, and the next one is going to be Valon Cluster. Hope people don't mind me reading these instead of playing. I like to set the stage, set the scene. Wow, look at this. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 empires that these guys know that we don't. We might have to, yeah, see if we can get communications with these guys, and then we just spend the whole episode reading about all these different races. Or we could just read 1 or 2 of each episode. But anyway, so the Valon Cluster. So these guys are actually void dwellers, which means they live on habitats. And they have destroyed world below them. So let's learn more about them. So Xenophile, pluralism, fanatically cooperative, a free haven. This society has a well-earned reputation as a free haven. The tired, the poor, the huddled masses yearning to breathe free are all welcome here, regardless of their species or origin. Okay. They have socialist ideals. This society traditionally preserves the ideals of socialism, which are expressed in public ownership of the means of production and equitable distribution of resources in order to secure social, political, and economical equality for everyone. Wow, that's a whole bunch of stuff that they kind of have because of that. They're obligated to have public healthcare and public education policies. All right, and the next one is functional architecture. They're renowned for simple yet functional architecture. There are those who would refer to this building style as boring or even depressing, but in most cases, neoconcrete does the job just as well as any other building material. They actually have a CB on us. Ideology, I guess. So they're a communal parity federation builders. So they're going to be looking to... Are they in one? Oh, I think they're in one. I think they're in a federation. Oh, yeah, they are. They're in the Interstellar League with another alien race, the Gamma Menace. This is where things are going to get really complicated. We're probably going to have a lot of votes in this episode, I feel, because we're going to have to ask ourselves soon, you know, do we join a galactic society? Do we think about a federation? Are we going to become a hegemony? There's a lot of stuff to think about in the future. Love to hear all your thoughts on it. Okay, so let's read them as a species. Am I missing anything else? They're void dwellers, so they live on habitats. So they're called the Valon. There they are right at the top. So the Valon have no understanding of their past or how the habitats that they inhabit came to be. Perhaps they were saved from some natural disaster and were relocated. Perhaps they were created as an experiment, or perhaps they somehow evolved on the habitat itself. Each habitat was host to billions of Valon that operated as a singular hive mind, but now, after recently discovering and making contact with the other habitats in the system, the Valon hives are linking together, and their shared knowledge has accelerated their understanding of habitat creation as well as FTL travel. In their search for answers, the Valon have opened themselves up to all forms of life. Perhaps their creator, their savior, or even more like them, will one day return. So they have multiple habitats within their one system. So I guess, yeah, so they had to like initially make contact with each other. There's singular hive minds in each habitat. But upon reaching contact with each other, now they're starting to merge and link. So let's have a look again about their species. So they have the habitat preference. There's only 73 of them. So not nearly as dense as something like the Belmacosa. They're void dwellers, so they live in orbital habitats. They have a slow growth speed because of that, but they have better workers and specialist output. They are multi-hive minded. Among the species are several hive minds in the process of unification. Each hive mind core functions as a leader, but their capabilities are diminished while sustaining consciousness. So they have less leader level caps, so they don't level up to as high a degree, but they have better unity and worker. So workers for them seem to be really good. This is really great for their socialist ideologies, I guess. Self-replicating. Their pop growth speed is 12%. Explosive cysts. We can kind of see that, these bulges on them. They're sympathetic. So what's that do? Minerals from jobs. They're sympathetic. They're slimy. The species is made up of limp, semi-solid bodies. They try to maintain a fixed form but are vulnerable to unexpected impacts. And then they're inside out. The vital organs of the species are located externally. This has proved to be an extreme risk factor. Yeah, you can actually just see like all that crap kind of hanging off them in a way. So yeah, that's the two plantoids, the Valon. We've encountered a lot of smaller species as well that we don't know anything about, that were just appearing in the galaxy as primitive, I suppose. So the Valon cluster, they just have two different systems. Did they actually colonize, or did they build a habitat here? They just colonized. Soil of Hope, a tropical world. So I wonder, they start with the technology to build habitats. I wonder, will they ever do that? Because, I mean, we're 60 years in, they haven't. So, seems maybe unlikely that they will, or maybe they just need the resources to do it. Okay, so we've uncovered quite a bit more. I think it'd be really worth talking to them in future. Actually, we could just see now. Offer trade deal, information, communications. And then we could give them resources to find out more stuff. Like, if we gave them alloys, they'd probably love us. So we could just do that and meet all the other races. Now, we'd be here reading things for a really long time, so I'm gonna wait. Just in terms of waiting. Or just in terms of, like, for the episode, because otherwise I do want to read them as we uncover them, but maybe if we get a bunch, we'll just kind of skim read them or something like that before we do. So maybe at the end of the episode or something, I'll do that. We'll meet one or two, and then the beginning of the next episode, we'll look at more that way. Dakarite have actually... What is up with this? That's just a weird kind of a border bug, I think. All right, so we spent a lot of time there just reading a bunch of stuff without really playing anything, but at least the Kosher accepted the deal. They gave us the communications. We can now actually see into their territory, so we actually see their fleets and stuff because we have active sensor links. So here we go. Their ships look awesome. I love the avian designs. Very sleek. They have one destroyer with level 1 lasers, level 2 coil guns, level 1 shields and armor. So technologically, not that afraid of them. We're equivalent, so we probably have better mil tech than they do. But their fleet itself is overwhelming. So they have 3,000 fleet strength there, and then they have... Oh, wow. That's a lot. Yeah, they've got like 7,000 in total? That seems like a lot. 8,000 there. So 8,000 fleet strength total? Wow. They are probably one of the bigger ones. I mean, they're overwhelming. Whereas others around us are just like equivalent. So overwhelming is, I mean, it could be, there's no upper limit to that. But I wonder when it kicks in. So they have 8,000 fleet strength. We have about 4,000, so... Well, it's interesting. We can now keep an eye on it. And maybe if they come across the Dagateni's fleets, we can see what they're dealing, what they're rocking. All right, back to matters of the Empire. Economy is getting a little bit better, but we're still suffering for the consumer goods. But we're just waiting on these 3 buildings to finish. So let's just speed up time for now. What's this? So borders have been closed to the Valon and the Belmacot's Creep. I'm going to open them with the Valon just because maybe they'll be a bit more likely to be okay with us. So I've opened my borders. You can do the same if you want. Wow. Protostars are the first protostars are stars at the final stage of their formation, up to the moment of ignition of thermonuclear reaction in the nucleus, after which the compression of the protostar ceases and it becomes a star of the main sequence. Newborn systems are oversaturated with readily available materials from which future planets will be formed. That's so cool. Yeah, you can see all the asteroid belts and stuff. Even all the way into the close. That's so awesome. All right, let's keep going. All right, enough reading for a while. Let's just figure stuff out. So, science ship here, not doing anything. Science ship here, not doing anything. We don't have the energy to put new ones on. I'm just going to cancel that. What's this? Low stockpile. Food is getting low. And consumer goods is running out. That's fine. Construction completed at Starbase in orbit of Rodin. Nice. So we finally got this area. So now we can send this scientist, get a new scientist on that ship and go up and excavate. Find out about the floating ship up there. And we'll get this construction ship just to build everything it needs to. And where else are we now? Down here. So have we got this base up in... No, not yet. So we're now collecting all the trade value here. That was another thing I built, a 3rd trade hub. Because we weren't actually getting the trade. There was like 7 trade value there. That should be helping everything in general. So we just finished getting those buildings. We've got some unemployment I'll deal with now, but I just want to see the monthly tick. So we're making -7 for consumer goods. So maybe we could just get a new consumer goods building somewhere. Although we just don't have anything for a while. For instance, this gene clinic, I'd be tempted just to change it now into consumer goods. And then when we get the room on this planet, build it there. So I think I'll do that. I like the idea of gene clinics and everything, but we're just hurting for consumer goods too much right now. And how's our robots? We actually didn't take a look at what they look like. They look like this. It's really small and hard to see, but for people who know the game, they'll know generally what they look like. Our first robot hasn't been built yet, so we can't see them yet in full screen kind of thing. But there you go. They're building at 2 per month, and it takes 150 growth to get them. So it's 75 months, I guess. It's quite a long time just to get one robot. Okay, technology complete. Energy credits for technicians, 20%. Nice. So what can we go with next? Improved reactor booster. I'm going to go with gravitic sensors. Sensors have been tuned to look for any gravitational changes in space, such as those produced by the presence of a starship. Excellent. So what's our fleet strength at now? Nearly 4,000. So it's up. We've done our upgrades. I put on the extra sensors people were mentioning as well. We have special Corvette scouting sensors that we obtained a while back. Can't put them on destroyers, but it gives our Corvettes extra detection range. So it's actually an argument to have a Corvette-only fleet, potentially, if you wanted to do that. What else? So Gaia has a specialist pop not doing anything. Maybe we could move them somewhere where we're going to build up a bit better? No, I don't know. Not for a while, unfortunately. Not for a while. Until we get a free slot somewhere, then we can move them. So, want to make sure as well we don't forget about the decision for that planet. Alright, we're just constantly buying consumer goods just to fix that issue temporarily. So we'll have to make a colony ship, and that costs 200 consumer goods. So for now, let's sell some of the excess minerals we have. We don't need that much. We'll sell them, and then we'll buy some consumer goods. 250. And then that should be enough to now commission the building of a colony ship. I mean, it would take ages to come from here. I guess I might just build an actual shipyard here and then do it from here. Yeah, that's what I'll do. A Galactic Community. Well, here we go. Well, I'm going to have to make a choice here now. I was hoping that I could get a vote out before, but I have to make a choice myself. I think we're going to have to enter in. Seems like the right thing to do. I don't know how you get into it if you opt out immediately. So essentially what this is, well, let's read it. As more and more spacefaring civilizations establish formal relations with one another, the galaxy is becoming a vibrant and lively place. To avoid tragic misunderstandings between nations, an increasing number of diplomats have called for the establishment of a new pan-galactic organization, a community, if you will, where the empires of the galaxy can meet and discuss important matters. Should the Roman Empire pledge its support for the creation of the Galactic Community? And say, yes, this is a worthy endeavor. Or no, we don't have the time for this nonsense. We're gonna opt in. Politics is our specialization, although we haven't been in a republic for a long time, but there is still politics within our empire. We of course still have a senate, and I'm sure there's a lot of backroom dealings that they deal with as well all the time. So we'll enter into the arena, the political arena. See what happens. Now, I think it takes a while for it to actually get formed. Essentially, this happens when 50%, like when one empire has encountered 50% of all the empires in the galaxy. So it's probably like the Valon cluster or someone who's actually triggered this, because they seem to have a lot of connections. Right, what we should also do though, yeah, why, I don't know. Let's build more food on this planet, on our Gaia world. It's just called Gaia. Obviously now we're going to have multiple Gaia worlds, but I always thought the name Gaia was a nice name for that one. It was previously Colonia Traiana. Right, we're going to be colonizing that area. Alright, I think everything's pretty good. Purple Rain. Images capturing Lando 3. Oh yeah, so this is essentially out here. I sent a scientist, the Exile, I believe, to go get some anomalies that were just a bit further south of our Gaia planet. Images capturing Lando 2A's mesmerizing purple-colored rain taken by the Hephaistio's surface exploration probes somehow find their way into the hands of the cultural elite on Terra. While the discovery is of no scientific value, the evocative imagery of the colorful precipitation sparks a minor renaissance in the human art world, positive effects of which shall be felt for years to come. Remarkable. So happiness 10% for inspired arts for 240 months. Wow. Wow, that's a pretty long time. Nice. It was a level 6 anomaly, so this purple rain on this planet, this toxic world, that's where it was, I think. So now we can put a scientist on this ship again. So we're gonna get a new one. Oh yeah, so the issue is if we want to do archaeological digs, we're really gonna have to take scientists off this. So Septimia Arminius has long lifespan. She's not necessarily good at physics, so let's just take her off. We'll put someone new on this. Anyone good at physics? We have two people, Nea Lucullus or Numerius Trebatius. Now, before we look, one of them is field manipulation, the other is computing. So that's kind of one's Miltech and one isn't. We have computing on right now, so let's just get the computing one, just to Put it in that way. So he's 44 though. He's a bit older, but it's all right. So he's doing the good job. So he has a little bonus to that. Speeds it up. 13 months. Okay, and the Agatha Daemon can now have Septima Arminius on it. And she can go uncover what's going on with this ghost warship floating above this planet out here. Where is it? Alright, excavate please. Cool, we'll keep an eye on that. Now we can probably get another one. Although I don't know if there's any more. There's an excavation out here that's been undertaken already. Don't know if there's any other excavation sites that we really need to hit except the one up here. So we'll just move the ship in preparation for it. Oh, there's one at Grunthurst. Ah, I totally forgot about that. Okay, yeah, we could go there instead then. So let's get in position for that. Alright, cool. Alright, we're about halfway through. We're now making plentiful amounts of consumer goods, which is great, from that new building that we just got done. Alright, we got our level 2 engineering tech. So, what can we go with? Crystal forge plating, mining station, output, mineral purification hubs, ion thrusters, with weather control systems for city district housing. Mining station output, I guess, I think. Don't feel like we need the housing that badly. So we'll go with this. It's also a little bit cheaper, so let's go with that first. 21 months, Marcellus is on the case. A diamond in the rough. After the study of Lando II has concluded, science officer the Exile reports that they have found the planet to be unusually rich in minerals. The discovery was made possible in large part thanks to a certain member of the Feistus crew. The Exile praises the protege highly. Offer this protege a science position. Gain a new scientist. Yeah, that's great. I don't have to pay for them. Excellent. Or they do good work where they are. No. Let's get this protege. So now, that worked out. We can... Where's the ship? Is it this one? Yeah. And this is her. Oh, wow. Spark of Genius. Research speed 10%. And she's good at... Oh, this was so perfect. See you later, Marcellus. And let's get her straight in there. This genius. So now she's good at materials. So we'll try to get material research with her next time. Could we do that right now, actually? No, there's no material research, so it's fine. But yeah, Spark of Genius, so extra 10% as well. So that's great. And our science ship is just going to continue its way out. And we'll put Marcellus on this now. He's level 3. Not that high, but maybe enough to at least work on that archaeological dig site without too much setback. Okay, Forge World. We have one unemployed pop here. An encounter in Groman. Investigate the Zeta Menace. This is down by... The hell is this? Alright, we have some more biomass aliens that came through a wormhole, it seems. It's interesting that there is a wormhole there. We don't have... I mean, I didn't think there was that few wormholes, but we haven't come across really any. There's none in our territory, in any of this territory. None in the Tyrene's territory either. There is one out here in the Nerilga territory. I wonder, do they link to each other? To find out. So, what is this guy doing? He's not doing anything anymore. There's a couple more anomalies just to grab real quick. So let him go get them. Now, for the unemployed pop here, maybe we could just manually move them to somewhere with a job instantly. This place does have a job on Cicero. Anywhere with multiple? There's 8 available jobs out here. So... let's move the person from Elysium to Gaia. Okay, so have we built that? We built our star base, so now's the time to get our colony ship up and running. And we're going to be sending that colony... Whoops. We're going to be sending that colony down to Canadrius and colonizing the tundra world down here. Now, it's going to take a while to colonize. So we're a bit against the clock for this activation thing. So how much time do we have left? Cannot activate while relic cooldown is active. Triumph active for... That's so cool. It says Triumph? Is that to do with being Roman or not? I don't know. Maybe it's not. That's pretty cool. So yeah, we need to be able to land on the planet and colonize it within 2,300 days. That should be fine, I think. Should be fine. Seeks to the bow. Still want to do that. We'll probably do that after we activate it. Ascension perk. Yeah, I know about that. Alright, you know what? I'm going to get my ship to head down this way as well. Take out this system. Or take out the aliens in here. And then what we can do is get our scientists, the Exile, to actually survey this system. We haven't surveyed it yet. So the fleet is on the move. And the economy is just fine. Look at that. Oh, shit. Subspace rift is forming. Sensors stations in the Augusta system report that a new subspace rift is forming. Our fleet has already been put on high alert. We should prepare for the worst. Let's redirect our fleet to Augusta. I don't know what's going to come through or how big it's going to be, but we need to have a look. Do we have any time? 1,500. Damn it. This is a trade hub, you know? It's not a military base. Well, we'll just see what comes through. Have to keep an eye on it. We know what's going to come through. We just don't know the scale of it, though, this time around. So we still have that unemployed pop here. But until we get a free building slot, there's nowhere to really put them. So I kind of messed up. Don't like having an unemployed pop all that time. We're under attack. The portal has formed, and hostile forces have been confirmed moving towards our colony. This appears to be another one of their raiding fleets. Great. Let's have a look at what we got. This is in the Augusta system, it says. Our fleet's on the way. Faustus Novi... Oh my god. Oh shit, it's big. 6.5k. They are growing in size. I wonder if they're going to hit the planet. So for those who don't know, if you don't remember, we contacted these guys before. The Vassari hegemony. They spoke to us and said we were subservient to them and that they were just going to raid us periodically. And they said they were going to kill us eventually. So we kind of have to prepare for this in future. They've been raiding other people too. Last time they destroyed our starbase and then they just left after a while. So I can't beat that fleet with mine. Mine's not big enough. So there's no real point in sending our fleet to go die at 4k strength. So I'm just going to continue where we were heading anyway. I'm just going to let this play out. I think it's just going to disrupt our trade for a while. Hopefully we don't get a planetary invasion. I mean, I don't think so, but you never know. Worst case is this, I mean, best case is this just takes us off our energy for a while and we have to rebuild the station. And yeah, they just hit the stuff in this system. Actually heal as they move as well. We wanted to have a look before. They've got weird technology. Stormfire autocannons, point defense cannons, and then small xenotronium armor, as well as progenitor automated repair systems. So pretty crazy stuff. Progenitor sensors, progenitor... Yep. Yeah, well, we had a look at them before. It's about 3 times the size as the fleet that came through last time. I'd have to look at the dates to see when that first happened. And then we could kind of gain an estimate of how big they're growing and how fast. Are they? They're over the planet now, are they? I mean, they kind of are. Doesn't look like they're bombarding though or anything, so that's good. Birth of the Galactic Community. Well, it's kind of a good thing. Maybe we can do something about the Vassari hegemony. This is a historic day. Several of the galaxy's prominent spacefaring empires, including the Roman Empire, have announced the creation of the Galactic Community. This supranational organization will serve as a forum where matters involving the entire galaxy can be discussed and decided upon. As one of its founding members, we can take pride in this milestone of galactic history. A great day for the galaxy. So here we go, Galactic Community. Now, it's been a while since I've taken a look at this, but this really gives us a nice idea of the power rankings between us and everyone else, because no resolutions have been passed yet, so everyone's weight is just based on, is equally based on fleet power, technology, things like that, and economy. So our current weight is 800. We're just behind the Kosher Trade League and just behind the Valon Cluster, but we're ahead of the Belmacosta Creep. Have we met all these people now? The Order of Enlightenment? Heyo! We've made contact with a bunch more people. We have the remnants of Alaria. Oh, it looks like they've had a war or something with the Order of Enlightenment. We have the Koldan Consortium. Thogan Emergence, the Boss City-States. Damn, we have a thick galaxy down in the south. We got lucky. I mean, it doesn't seem as densely packed up where we are. We'll have to read some of these. I'll save it to the end to read about one or two more of them, because I don't want to just spend the whole episode reading. Emperor Tiberius, man, he's looking good for his age. He's 85. Princess Appia is going to be taken over, and she's... well, we'll see how she handles herself. So what do we got? So resolutions can be proposed from the resolutions tab, adding it to the proposal queue. So yeah. So essentially, this is the Senate floor. We can put things in there from here to get benefits and stuff like that. So there's loads of stuff to get into and have a look at. But I'm not even going to participate for a while. We'll let other people propose things and see if we just want to vote on them. Because it costs influence to do, and I don't really want to do that anyway. So basically, for those who don't know, I'll do this a bit more in-depth later. But you have all these different categories: commerce, politics and culture, environment, technology, defense and war, and galactic priorities. And then essentially in each subcategory, it kind of progresses through them. So you start with the readied shield, and then it pushes up and up and up as you vote on and pass each one. So the first one here, for instance, will do diplomatic weight from fleet power is increased, naval capacity is increased, ship upkeep is increased as well. So it's like they're not always just straight benefits, clearly, right? We have a bigger naval capacity, but it's also more expensive. So that could be a problem. But then people with big fleets, their votes count for more in future because their diplomatic weight from fleet power increases. Now, if you progress and you follow this chain all the way through, by the end of it, you're looking at a 25% ship upkeep, a 50% increase in naval cap, and 100% diplomatic weight from fleet power. Now, if we're not the biggest fleet in the galaxy, or we're not one of the biggest, which we aren't, we probably don't really want to be supporting these things until we feel like we're in a better position to do that, because then we'll get bullied out of the voting. Because we won't count for as much. So that's kind of how you want to play that. Technology, we're pretty good, and economy, we're pretty good. So those are the ones we'll probably focus on the most, at least initially, until we can make sure, then we can build our fleet. But yeah, that's kind of how it works on a very, very high level. So there we go, Galactic Community, we're part of it. We want to dominate that community, obviously. All right, let's keep going. I want to be able to at least do that colonization this episode, so... Shipyard, the colony ship is on 176 days to go. We are in the expansion chain of our Unity tradition as well right now, which is good. So colony development speed has already been increased by 25%. If we get this one next, our next colony will already start with a pop, which would be nice. So it takes us 35 months to get this, and then we should be able to get that and just start with a pop really quickly. I did want to go down this way though, but I'm going to be greedy for this new colony. Just one new colony, but it's worth it. Just to get one pop. Maybe it isn't worth it, actually, thinking about it out loud.
Construction online.
So we've gotten our trade hub here, which is excellent. So let's go with a trading company. We'll probably want something like crew quarters for when our fleet arrives down here. And of course, we have the Vazaran hegemony just chilling out over at Augusta. We do not have the capabilities of defeating that right now. I'm assuming they're just going to go away. Borders are being closed, and claims are being made by Site 1066-7 override again. My guess is they've just claimed Tau Ceti. Yes, they have. Alright, let's build our mining stations out there. Interesting, we just haven't heard from the Norilga Swarm. I wonder, are they busy dealing with something on the right side? Borders are just closing from everybody we know. It's not easy being xenophobic. Alright, let's speed it up. Construction ships have done everything they can. I think I'll get this system as well, and I might actually just gift it to the Tyrene. Just for clean borders. I know there's alloys there, but just for clean borders. I like to think it'd be nice to give them something. They might like me for doing it as well. And there we go. Emperor Tiberius the 14th has died at the age of 85. And he is succeeded by Appia Caesar. She's 37. Quite young. She'll be here for a while. Colony raided. Oh, fuck. Our colony has been hit by a Vazaran raiding fleet. Countless citizens lost their lives to this reckless attack, and the planet's infrastructure has been devastated. We have to protect our people, but how? Strengthening our defenses as a special project has been created. So we have utter devastation on Augusta. 11 pops. I'm not sure what we had before, but this thing has been destroyed because we lost so many pops. I'll have to check the footage to see exactly how much we lost. I'm guessing about 6 or 7. Wonder were they abducted or just killed? Hopefully killed for a quicker death. Yeah, we need to do something about this, obviously. Well, it looks like they might be leaving us now. Their speed, holy shit. We're on fast, not fastest. Oh my days. Look at the speed. Oh my god. Alright. They're out of here anyway, at least. So, we do have plenty of things, actually. We wanted to... The subspace rift investigation would take 35 months of our tech time. Strengthening defenses will only take 18, so we might look into that next episode. I mean... days after our Emperor died. Appia has not been given an easy welcome. The people clamor for something now to be done about this menace. So our gravitic sensors have been finished, and we have listening posts available to us now. We're going to dump further into physics research. We want to learn more, speed up our research, I think would be a good idea. And he specializes in that. So our new heir, Prince Titus Caesar. He's got a bit of a man bun going on. But perhaps that is just the fashion. Right, well, it's going to be up to her to figure all this stuff out. Her mandates are kind of like fertility preacher, world shaper, industrialist, so economy focused really. Prince Titus. His ship upkeep is reduced, so logistic understandings and space mining as well. Alright. Alright. Where's that colony ship? I'm waiting on it. 60 days, 2 months to go. Borders closed from the Traxian Empire. Holy crap. Guys, we are just uncovering empire after empire now. The Pod privateers. Look at the size of these guys. And the Traxian Empire. So many different empires. We almost have the entire galaxy uncovered now. We have to see what's going to be here. Right next to Norilga. What we're going to be coming up against if we push into Norilga. Borders just closing left, right, and center. Of course, I have my borders set to be closed too. So that's probably why they're doing it. And the fact that I'm xenophobic. That's alright. We can sweeten them up. Work them up to the point where they're pretty happy with us. We could probably take our envoy off this place now. Now that we're friendly. Rest in peace, Tiberius Caesar. Winner of the Tyrrhene War. Victor of the Tyrrhene War, I should say. Right, I don't think there's much else for me to really think about building. Not immediately. No, not really. Okay. Just really waiting for this colony now so I can activate my relic. And our ships are doing their things. We're heading off towards... So we're going to have to rebuild, obviously, at Augusta. Fix this place up. We kind of have to wait just a bit. The wormhole, the subspace wormhole has closed. Non-aggression pact broken between the prob and the Colden. Okay, not a big deal for me. Not a concern. Let's go here first, get that mining station, and then we'll head back up here and get this. Nanobot mining. Where the hell is this? Where are we doing this? Oh yes, this is the exile was out here. Despite encountering initial difficulties when landing on the surface, the scientific expedition team led by the exile managed to enter the station safely. Following their suit sensors, the team began to make the arduous journey into the depths of the facility towards the unstable energy signals that where they were originating from. What they found was quite extraordinary. The irregular energy signals were produced by swarms of nanobots, which, despite their age and lack of maintenance, seemed to have not forgotten their purpose. The team watched in awe as the nanobots, for lack of a better term, devoured seemingly useless rocks and stones, digested the contents, and excreted the useless material into a disposable box and regurgitated the valuable minerals into a retrieval collection, which doesn't seem to have been emptied for some time. Okay, so 1,000 minerals gained. Wow. Nice find. I think we could use those nanobots, but I guess not. So we got our psionic theory. Empire sprawl has been reduced now. We were at over 100. I think it was 181, so we went down to 179. Probably went down further than that. It's just from the pops alone, but at least that's decent. So what do we have? We have fleet command limits, resources from jobs, starbase capacity. I think I might go with that. We're kind of at our limit now for starbases. Sure. So there's a bunch of stuff being fielded here. Oh my god, this things are going to slow down even more now because like there's just so much going on. Right, our colony ship has been made. Let's take it to Canadrius, colonize. Yes. Hyperborea. Olympia. Ithaca, Patavium, Thule. Colonia Aurora. Next to the, maybe an interesting name will be something to do with the fact that the Mutagen Merchant Guild are here. So 10 energy credits per month, and we get 1 crystal. I'm going to do this just to build opinion with them. This would be 10 opinion if we did that. That's a bit too much, though. Maybe I'll leave it for a while. Opinion's nice and everything, but I don't think we're ready yet for energy. Not quite. Alright, we have a new build slot here. Ideally, we're going to build something that will actually make use of that specialist. So let's start our first bit of manufacturing, chemical plants, and get that going. Let's check the housing on all these planets. Well, they're not really doing anything. I don't mind putting down a few extra city districts just to expand the housing. The Colden Consortium declared the Valon cluster their rival. Non-aggression pact broken. Lost in space. The signal we intercepted was a distress call from a ship in orbit around Edinburgh B3A. The ship has not given off any heat signatures and seems to be drifting. A special project has been used to investigate what happened to the crew. Intriguing. A derelict ship. Whoops, sorry. Oh wow, look at the size of this thing. It looks awesome as well. The ship adrift in space, no signals coming in or out. Inspecting it more closely might shed some light on what was going on. It's only going to take 2 weeks. We'll figure it out in a second. Alright, we're all good. The colony ship is on the way. The activation of the relic is still got plenty of time. So the ship in orbit was not abandoned. The crew is alive, but not well. Influenced by some sort of brain parasite. With the help of our scientists, they could easily be cured. Help them or let them perish. Establish contact. Okay. Whoa. Oh shit! It's the Veldener Zealots. Is this the same thing? I bring greetings from King Veldener, the undisputed ruler of the Veldener Zealots. Respect our borders and keep out of our affairs, and perhaps our mighty fleets will refrain. Alright, greetings. I don't know if that is to do with that, or if that's something else, but the Veldener are over here. Was that to do with it? Is that the same thing? Oh yeah, we never looked at the moon out here either. There's so many things to do in our research. Situation log. Alright, we got the better mining, so now we could go with either alloy mega forges, which I do like the sound of, now that we're actually making moats as well. They require moats to get up to the next level, so that would be kind of good. Or gas extraction wells for science to get up to the next level. I mean, both are pretty relevant. But we are behind on fleet, so let's do that one first. 13 months, doesn't take that long. It's also, she's got 15% speed on that, and she's also 10% extra anyway. They closed their borders to us, the Veldener Zealots. So yeah, I don't think there was anything more to that. If there was, I missed it. Let's just go do this anomaly, why not? Seeing as we uncovered it. There's 2 of them actually in there. Oh no, we have to head into the Liam system soon. Because our fleet's nearly down here. Yeah, we want to survey first. Because our colony ship, everything, we always have to go around now. Takes a little bit longer.
Warning. War has broken out.
God, I thought that was against me for a second. Excuse me. War declaration between the Order of Enlightenment, which are a megachurch, against the Valon cluster, which we looked at earlier. So these two, battling each other. There's only 1 choke point for them to get into each other's territory. So the conflict is going to be centered around here, I would imagine. Seems that way. And how's this war going on? This one's still going. Doesn't look like anything's changed though. They're just ticking up exhaustion. The Dagateni Kingdom's fleet is here, and the Kosher Trade League's fleet is there. They're one jump away, but they're not engaging each other. Oh, they are now. I spoke too soon. We could get a little action here. 2.1k coming in from the Kosher Trade League, plus an army of transports. So they have a decent amount on them. They have 18. We have 12 in our current army, which is stationed still on Terra. Just curious to watch this battle really quickly. Obviously, they're gonna. It seems very likely they're gonna win. Looks like they're trying to leave. 6 destroyers. Destroyers only. Interesting. Cool ships. Evil looking. Level 2 stuff. Whereas when we looked at the Kosher, they had level 1. Yeah. Alright, cool. It's just interesting to kind of catch those little bits of skirmishing and things. Alright, I think I'm losing focus a bit. What do we need to do next? I still have these couple unemployment such problems here. So I suppose we'll build districts. Could always do with more energy. Chemical plants and all of that. Alright, good. We are fixing everything. The economy is actually really in a really good state. The fact that we have our fleet out and about, you know, the only thing that's a bit low is we're not making that much alloys, which is why I'm going with that alloy technology. So the colony ship is about to touch down now. It's going to take a while to colonize the territory, though, unfortunately, so we won't get to see necessarily the Gaia world in this episode, I don't think. And I'm going to give this territory to the Tyrene Republic. How are they doing for fleet? They're back to equivalent. That's nice to see. Our scientists just about to reach the archaeological dig site. So the archaeological dig site appears. Got an event pending. The ghost warship. The interior of the ship is littered with mummified dead bodies. Some bodies bear signs of violent death, but most seem to have perished from starvation and life support failure. All of them belong to a species of small but resilient and physically adept avian species that call themselves the Charmak, and was active in this region in the galaxy about 800 years ago. That's really not that long ago. Their physiology shows signs of spaceborne adaptation, suggesting that they've abandoned planetside habitation at some point in their past to live aboard spacecrafts such as this one. Keep digging. Okay, now, so we opened that ship and we didn't find anything. The one down here with the exile. That was it. It's not this, it's not this. We still haven't finished the Sentinels? Oh my god, there's so much still to do. The moon on Gaia, investigate the menaces. Yeah, I don't think so. So what? By opening up, so we just basically helped the people that were on board that ship, and it uncovered the Veldener Zealots. I'm guessing that's what happened. All right, we might read them then first, seeing as they're the ones that are right next to us. We'll just check them out in a second. I think we're just about to wrap up here. Yeah, I guess so. So things are looking good. You know, tech is, I think, at a pretty good rate right now. We seem to be getting through techs pretty quick. Pretty happy with the current economy. Generally, we pulled ourselves out of the rut we were in. I'm a little bit behind for building things because we keep getting little bits of unemployment here and there. Oh yeah, I meant to, I've already built the weaponry on this starbase. That's good. Let's do a listening post so we can see what's further in there. And then maybe even upgrade this to a star hold, because these guys have been claiming on me. So I think it'd be a good idea to get something prepared there. We're gonna, yeah, the last thing we'll do is just clear this system out and have our little bit of our own combat at the end. It's interesting to see, there's a lot of wars going on in the galaxy. If we go to, no, where is it? I'm trying to think of empires. Oh, contacts, that's it. This is everything we've encountered. Holy crap, there's so much. So let's get rid of other, let's get rid of primitives. We have the one fallen empire, and there we go. So now we can see war status if we filter by that. Guess we can't filter by it. That's a great feature. But it looks like 3 of them are at war. The Order of Enlightenment, the Pod Privateers, they're at war with someone we haven't met. And then the Kosher Trade League are at war with the Dagateni. So the Order of Enlightenment are at war with the Valon. The Valon doesn't say. Oh, they're at war, but they're in Icy. So that's a defensive symbol. The Thogan Emergence are at war with the Order of Enlightenment. Okay. So it must be in a war of alliances and stuff. I'd need to spend a lot of time checking all this stuff to see who's with who and stuff. They're in the Interstellar League, so I'm guessing that's what it is. Yeah. Alright, man, there's a lot of stuff to see. Okay, so before we go any further, I'm going to read 2 more empires and then we'll wrap it up. So let's check out the Veldenor Zealots first. So the Veldener Zealots, as they are the closest ones to us. So they currently have 4 planets, it seems. 4 colonies. 82 pops. A little bit lower on the diplomatic weight than we are. They're humanoid. They are a parliamentary monarchy and evangelizing zealots. They seek to spread their faith across the galaxy and are not above using military might to force others to accept their beliefs. Their ethics are authoritarian, fanatically xenophobic, militarist, and spiritualist. They're very close to us, actually, in so many ways. Like, we're spiritualist, we're militarist, we're xenophobic, and we are authoritarian. But we also have anthropocentrism, so they just have fanatic xenophobe to double down on that. Their civics are they are chosen people. This species have fanatically preserved their biological and cultural uniqueness, considering themselves exceptional and chosen by a higher power to dominate the galaxy. They're militant zealots, religious fundamentalists, which army maintains strong tradition of intense martial training, both physical and spiritual. They have to be always ready to protect their religious beliefs from infidels. Temples will replace priests with Templars. Interesting. I guess they're like military. They probably increase naval cap and stuff. And then they have Republican ideals. Republicanism is centered around the idea of civic virtue, with an ordinary citizen being primarily concerned with the matters of the state as a public affair, and generally involved in the political life at some level. Okay. So what else do we need to check? Just they're on the shoulders of giants. Due to some unknown past, this civilization has hidden boons in their solar system, placed there by a mysterious benefactor. We don't necessarily know what they are, but there are multiple dig sites around here that they've obviously uncovered. And they're called the Eldar, so let's check them out. So here they are, the Eldar. And where's their world? Their world is called Rihi. So, for millennia, the Eldar have observed seemingly artificial objects in the night sky, prompting speculation amongst many tribes and early civilizations as to what their purpose was. In the equivalent of the late Iron Age, the Vex, a ferociously militant tribe led by Veldenor, uncovered a buried superstructure after tectonic activity partially exposed it. This massive machine was later understood to be a partially intact exploration cruiser, which contained advanced technologies for weaponry and travel capabilities beyond anything thought possible on Rihi. Over the next several decades, Veldenor utilized the weaponry to begin a series of mass extinctions on other civilizations who refuted the word of God and Veldenor's divine right over the people of Rihi. With the planet unified under Veldenor's doctrine, he entered the superstructure alone, sealed it off, and after a great flash of light, was gone. Okay, so the Eldar, a desert or an arid preference. They're talented, they're quick learners, they're traditional, they're weak, and they're solitary. So nothing too crazy about them, they're just religious zealots, I guess, that believe in the word of Veldenor, even though he's not there anymore. Alright, nothing really too crazy about that, but there you go. There they are, they're pretty close to us. So if we came through the Norilga Swarm, they actually only have one bordering system that would lead them into the the Norilga, and it's not occupied by anything, so there might be some sort of alien menace blocking them from getting over there. Alright, the only other one I'm going to read then, let's go with, in order of closest to us, let's go with the remnants of Ilaria. They've only got one planet. They have a decent amount of systems, but one planet for themselves. And they actually live on a ring world. Okay, so the remnants of Ilaria, the Ringworld section they live on is called Ilaria. Their species are called the Zepidrogan. They are pacifist, fanatically spiritualist. They have ecocentrism and they have pluralism. They're keepers of harmony. People of the society developed a spiritual cult of nature in order to live in genuine harmony with the biosphere. The cult implies significant detachment from worldly pleasures. They're spiritual seekers. People of this society are primarily concerned with matters of psychological self-development and searching for inner peace. And they have a police state to quash any traces of dissent. The population in this repressive society is carefully monitored and controlled by a large internal police force. So let's put on a new song. Alright, so they live on a shattered ring world. So let's learn more about them as a species. Let's open them up as a species. The Zepidrogan. There's two Zepidrogan. They're a pre-sapient one. guess it was just one of the generated name lists. So, the Zeppedragon didn't build Ilaria, but they are the victims of it. They were attacked by a technologically advanced race, forced to watch as their homeworld was stripped clean of its natural resources and obliterated by superweapons as part of some greater galactic conflict. Billions died in the automated facilities, harvested for food and biological materials, as well as malnutrition and atmospheric incompatibilities. All were subject to mass genetic experiments with species crossbreeding, creating deformities and high rates of organ failure. Section D was invaded by several million soldiers, a coalition of species from all over the galaxy conducting a rescue mission. As victory was within their grasp, the entire section was self-destructed, shattering most of Ilaria's other districts. For the Zeppedragon left on Ilaria, millennia passed without any external contact. Were they forgotten? Who won the war? Are they still out there? So these guys are fungoid in origin, I guess. There's only 55 of them. They have a continental preference. They have Paradise Lost. This species suffers in environments that other species can easily adapt to. Paradise for them is a sort of mirage. However, they still have much hope. They are conformists. People always seek consensus and are more likely to conform to the governing ethics. They're toxic. The flesh and blood of this species contains poisonous substances. Do not eat them. They have a rotting body. Members of the species are in constant state of decomposition. They cannot be easily distinguished from dead bodies. And they're the living dead. By conventional standards, the bodies of this species are nearly lifeless or are dead already. As such, they are called the living dead. There you go, that's the Zeppedragon, the remnants of Ilaria. Alright, so that's going to be it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed all the different species that we've encountered. The Galactic Council is now being formed. We'll have to take note of who's actually on it. In the next episode, we'll read about the Order of Enlightenment, maybe the Colden, the Voss, and the Traxian. Maybe just do 3 or 4 per episode so we don't overbear it. I know there's a lot, but obviously once we've encountered them all, well then there's not much more to kind of take our notice like that. And we're getting out of the era of anomalies as well, although there are still a few to go with excavations and things like that. But largely speaking, we're in a really great position, I think, now for the next decade or so. We have our new emperor or empress, Appia. I might change her number to a number that's more fitting. There's probably been another Appia since her, I would imagine, in our 2,000 years of history. And let's see. Yep, that's pretty much it. All right, thank you guys very much for watching. Let me know as much as you can about what you think for the Galactic Council. The vote is for migration, of course, for the Kosher Trade League, so don't forget to go vote. Check the description. @ROP_tweets is the Twitter where the vote is going to be hosted, and any other votes in future. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.